Have you ever found yourself plummeting through darkness, your stomach dropping as you fall endlessly through space, only to jolt awake with your heart pounding? If so, you're part of an incredible 91% of the population who has experienced falling dreams. But here's what will shock you. These dreams might not be about fear at all. They could be your subconscious mind's way of telling you something profound about your life that you desperately need to hear. Welcome to Midnight Meanings, where we uncover the hidden messages your dreams are trying to send you. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most universal human experiences, falling dreams. These nocturnal plunges have been reported across every culture, every age group, and every walk of life for thousands of years. Yet despite their prevalence, falling dreams remain one of the most misunderstood symbols in the dream world. What makes falling dreams so fascinating is their incredible consistency across human experience. Whether you're a CEO in New York or a farmer in rural Bangladesh, the sensation remains remarkably similar. You're walking, flying, or simply existing in your dream when suddenly the ground gives way, and you're tumbling through an endless void. Sometimes you hit the ground and wake up. Other times you fall forever, suspended in that terrifying moment between safety and impact. But before we dive into what modern psychology tells us about these dreams, let's travel back in time to see how our ancestors interpreted these mysterious nocturnal falls. Ancient civilizations were deeply invested in understanding dreams, and falling dreams held special significance across multiple cultures. In ancient Egypt, dreams were considered messages from the gods, and falling dreams were interpreted as warnings from the afterlife. Egyptian dream interpreters believed that falling in dreams represented a spiritual imbalance, suggesting that the dreamer's ka, or spiritual essence, was disconnected from their physical body. The priests would recommend specific rituals and offerings to restore harmony between the earthly and divine realms. The ancient Greeks had a different perspective entirely. They believed falling dreams were connected to the myth of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun and fell to earth when his wax wings melted. To the Greeks, falling dreams represented hubris or overambition. They interpreted these dreams as warnings against flying too high or reaching beyond one's natural limitations. Interestingly, they also connected falling dreams to the concept of catharsis, believing that the emotional release of falling could purge negative emotions from the dreamer's psyche. Chinese dream interpretation, rooted in thousands of years of philosophical tradition, viewed falling dreams through the lens of yin and yang balance. They believed that falling represented an excess of yin energy, the passive, downward flowing force that needed to be balanced with more yang energy through meditation, exercise, and positive thinking. Traditional Chinese medicine practitioners would often prescribe specific herbs and lifestyle changes to address recurring falling dreams. Native American cultures, particularly among Plains tribes, saw falling dreams as journeys of the spirit. They believed the soul could travel during sleep, and falling dreams represented the soul's return to the body. Rather than viewing these dreams negatively, many tribes considered them powerful spiritual experiences that could provide guidance and wisdom. Some shamans would even induce falling dreams through specific rituals to commune with spirit guides. Now that we understand how different cultures have interpreted falling dreams throughout history, let's examine what modern psychology and neuroscience tell us about these universal experiences. The scientific understanding of falling dreams has evolved dramatically over the past century, thanks to the groundbreaking work of pioneers like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, as well as contemporary researchers using advanced brain imaging technology. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, had a fascinating perspective on falling dreams. In his seminal work, The Interpretation of Dreams, published in 1899, Freud suggested that falling dreams were manifestations of repressed sexual desires and anxiety about losing control. He believed that the sensation of falling represented a loss of moral or social restraint, particularly related to forbidden impulses. According to Freud, the dreamer's mind was processing feelings of guilt or shame about desires they couldn't express in waking life. However, Freud's interpretation went deeper than simple sexual symbolism. He proposed that falling dreams often occurred during periods of significant life transition or when individuals felt they were losing their grip on important aspects of their lives. The falling sensation, in Freudian terms, represented the ego's fear of being overwhelmed by unconscious desires or external pressures. Carl Jung, Freud's famous protege who later developed his own school of analytical psychology, offered a more nuanced interpretation of falling dreams. Jung believed these dreams were connected to what he called the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of experiences common to all humanity. He saw falling dreams as archetypal experiences that connected us to our primitive ancestors who lived with the constant threat of falling from trees or cliffs. Jung's interpretation focused on the concept of individuation, the psychological process of integrating different aspects of the personality. He suggested that falling dreams often occurred when individuals were struggling with major life changes or facing challenges that required them to let go of old patterns and embrace new aspects of themselves. The falling sensation represented the necessary destruction of old ego structures to make way for psychological growth. Modern neuroscience has added fascinating layers to our understanding of falling dreams. Research conducted by sleep laboratories around the world has revealed that falling dreams often occur during the transition between wakefulness and sleep, a state known as hypnagogia. During this phase, the brain is still partially conscious while beginning to shut down certain systems for sleep. Dr. Matthew Walker, a renowned sleep researcher at the University of California, Berkeley, explains that falling dreams may be evolutionary remnants from our primate ancestors. His research suggests that the brain's arousal system, which evolved to wake us quickly from potential dangers like falling from trees, sometimes misfires during the transition to sleep. This creates the sensation of falling and the accompanying jolt that wakes us up. Contemporary psychologists have identified several common triggers for falling dreams that align with Jung's theories about life transitions. These dreams frequently occur during periods of high stress, major life changes, feelings of inadequacy, or when individuals feel they're losing control over important aspects of their lives. The falling sensation metaphorically represents the fear of failure or the anxiety associated with navigating uncertain circumstances. But falling dreams aren't monolithic experiences. They come in many variations, each carrying its own symbolic weight and psychological significance. Understanding these variations can provide deeper insights into what your subconscious mind is processing during sleep. The most common variation is the classic endless fall, where you plummet through darkness or space without ever hitting bottom. This type of falling dream typically represents feelings of helplessness or being overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control. It often occurs when people feel their lives are spiraling out of control or when they're facing situations where traditional solutions don't seem to work. Another frequent variation involves falling from great heights like buildings, cliffs, or mountains. These dreams often symbolize fear of failure or anxiety about living up to high expectations. If you're falling from a building, it might represent professional anxieties or fears about your career trajectory. Falling from natural formations like cliffs or mountains could indicate concerns about personal relationships or spiritual matters. Some people experience falling dreams where they can see the ground approaching rapidly. These dreams often carry different psychological weight than endless falling dreams. The approaching ground represents the inevitability of consequences or the fear of facing reality after a period of avoidance. These dreams frequently occur when individuals know they need to confront difficult situations but have been postponing action. Falling into water presents yet another variation with unique symbolic meaning. Water in dreams often represents emotions, the unconscious mind, or feminine energy. Falling into water might indicate that you're being overwhelmed by emotions or that you need to dive deeper into your unconscious feelings to understand current life situations. Perhaps the most intriguing variation is the falling dream where you learn to fly or somehow control your descent. These dreams often represent personal empowerment and the development of coping mechanisms. They can indicate that you're learning to navigate life's challenges with greater skill and confidence. Let me share some real examples that illustrate how falling dreams manifest in people's lives and how understanding their symbolism can provide valuable insights. Sarah, a 34-year-old marketing executive, came to understand her recurring falling dreams during a particularly stressful period in her career. She had been promoted to a senior position but felt completely unprepared for the increased responsibilities. Her falling dreams always began the same way. She would be standing on top of a skyscraper, representing her new elevated position, when the building would suddenly crumble beneath her feet. Through dream analysis, Sarah realized that her subconscious was processing her fear of professional failure and her anxiety about whether she deserved her promotion. The dreams weren't predicting actual failure, but rather reflecting her internal struggle with imposter syndrome. Once she understood this connection, Sarah was able to address her insecurities directly through professional development and mentorship, and her falling dreams gradually decreased in frequency. Michael, a recent college graduate, experienced a different type of falling dream during his transition from student life to the professional world. His dreams involved falling through his childhood home, with each room representing different stages of his past. The falling sensation represented his fear of leaving behind the safety and familiarity of his earlier life phases. His dreams helped him recognize that his anxiety wasn't really about his new job, but about the natural grief that comes with life transitions. Understanding this allowed Michael to process his feelings more constructively and embrace his new chapter with greater enthusiasm. Maria, a mother of 2 young children, had falling dreams that began during her divorce proceedings. In her dreams, she would be carrying her children while falling, desperately trying to protect them during the descent. These dreams reflected her deep concerns about how the divorce would affect her children and her fear of failing as a single parent. Working with a therapist to understand her dreams helped Maria realize that her protective instincts were strong and that her awareness of potential challenges was actually a sign of good parenting rather than inadequacy. The dreams served as a catalyst for her to develop practical support systems and coping strategies for her family's transition. These real-life examples demonstrate how falling dreams often serve as emotional barometers, helping us identify and process feelings we might not fully acknowledge during our waking hours. But understanding falling dreams goes beyond mere interpretation. It can provide practical guidance for navigating life's challenges. If you're experiencing recurring falling dreams, the first step is to examine what's happening in your waking life. Are you facing major transitions, feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities, or struggling with self-doubt? Falling dreams often appear when we need to pay attention to these underlying issues. Keep a dream journal specifically focused on your falling dreams. Note the details. Where are you falling from? What's the environment like? How do you feel during the fall? Are there other people present? These details can provide clues about which areas of your life need attention. Consider the timing of your falling dreams. Did they occur during specific life phases or in response to particular stressors? Understanding these patterns can help you identify triggers and develop proactive strategies for managing anxiety and life transitions. Practice relaxation techniques before sleep, especially if falling dreams are disrupting your rest. Deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, or meditation can help calm your nervous system and reduce the likelihood of anxiety-induced falling dreams. If your falling dreams include moments where you gain control or learn to fly, pay special attention to these elements. They represent your inner resources and coping mechanisms. Try to cultivate these same feelings of empowerment in your waking life through skills development, therapy, or other forms of personal growth. Remember that falling dreams, while sometimes unsettling, are rarely negative omens. Instead, they're often signs that your psyche is actively working to process challenges and find solutions. They represent your mind's attempt to help you navigate uncertainty and develop resilience. The universality of falling dreams suggests something profound about the human experience. We all face moments when we feel out of control, overwhelmed, or uncertain about our path forward. These dreams connect us to the shared human experience of navigating life's inevitable ups and downs. Rather than fearing falling dreams, consider embracing them as opportunities for self-reflection and growth. They're invitations to examine your current life circumstances with greater awareness and to develop the inner resources needed to handle whatever challenges you're facing. As we wrap up our exploration of falling dreams, remember that dream interpretation is deeply personal. While universal symbols and psychological principles provide helpful frameworks, the most meaningful interpretations come from understanding your own unique life context and emotional landscape. Your falling dreams are trying to tell you something important about your inner world and current life situation. By paying attention to these nocturnal messages and taking action to address underlying concerns, you can transform anxiety into empowerment and uncertainty into opportunity for growth. So the next time you find yourself plummeting through dreamland, remember that you're not alone in this experience. Millions of people throughout history have taken this same symbolic journey, and like them, you have the inner resources to learn from the fall and emerge stronger on the other side. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most vivid falling dream you've ever experienced? And looking back, what do you think your subconscious mind was trying to tell you? Share your story in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the mysterious world of dream interpretation. Sweet dreams, and remember, sometimes we have to fall before we learn to fly.